Okay, we're back at the coast after turning in the medicine chest. We got our free skill point, or I believe it was a skill point, for turning in a chest back in town. Now we are off and we're pushing to a new area. A lot of people talk about this specific area being where new players die the most. Um, it's got these enemies called Roas, I believe, and they are like bulls. They charge you. They usually do it in packs, and enough of them will basically dogpile you to kill you pretty early. And once again, if you do die, respawn, come back, take them out. And what we are doing now essentially are looking for 3 eggs that are scattered throughout the map. You can turn on your overlay, like the really big map, like that, and look around and try to find the exclamation points because that's how they will seem. And then there will be 2 doors at the top. I'm going to touch both doors um, just to show as much as I can. This right here is a part of the new league mechanic. So you will touch a chest. The chest will summon stronger enemies. You will open the chest. It will drop a chart and some currency and some gear. So it's a pretty stable way to get you things that you may need. And as you will notice, I have this green triangle over me, like covering my character, and I have something green in the top left of my screen. I have been cursed, basically, and I don't entirely know what this curse does, but from just playing and using it throughout the gameplay, I believe it makes you significantly faster, not just with moving, but I believe also with attacking, which helps get through campaign a little quicker. Um, yeah, you will notice that I touched the stones on the wall, and usually you would go through that door. See, I missed this unique enemy. I actually turned around from not touching that door because there's another door here that's always here, and my game plan is to finish the quest in that door. Now, what I'm doing is the campaign quest and pretty much all of the optional quests. If you only want to follow the campaign quests, you can. But me personally, I'm doing pretty much everything. And I'd say for your first run, it's probably nice to touch as much as possible so you can get as much experience and as much gear as you can so you can really help build your character better. Um, so here we are. As you can see, exploring this cave. Uh, as you can see, it's a side quest, so it's blue. It's called A Dirty Job, and it says optional. Pretty much anything that says optional obviously means you do not have to do it if you do not want to. But like I said, for the extra currency, for the extra crafting materials, for the extra experience, for the extra gear, I am going to be running pretty much everything. Um, there are going to be times where I will skip enemies or walk past them. Uh, that's just because I want to. If you want to kill everything, feel free. I will let you know whenever you open your. I just keep referring to it as an overlay, but that map that's like bigger in the middle of your screen, whenever you open that map, it will it will obviously show you the map in the middle of the screen. We know this, but if you look to the right of your screen when you open that map, you will see the level of the enemies that you are fighting. So if you have the overlay open and you go and you look over in that map and you see that enemies are like a level 12, and then you look down at your EXP bar and you're a level 26, you probably need to rush to the mission areas where enemies are like level 20, 23, 24. If not, you can keep staying behind and killing as much as you want. The idea is try to stay over a certain level of the general area that you are at, and also try to finish all of your mission quests. My build so far with what I'm running is pretty interesting. I think, as you can see, my game plan is to path to all the nodes that are blinking. I'm looking at the lines that connect. I'm trying to think what would be a smarter way to go in terms of getting what I need, and I'm deciding which route I should take from here. And so I get a notable, um, deep wisdom, and I'm trying to decide, do I want to go for the minion defense on the right, or do I want to go for the points on the left? Um, there are certain times where I will see things that I don't understand. Um, a prime example will be I will look in a skill tree and I'll see something where it will say your minions have unholy might. I'm like, what is unholy might? Right? Because the game does not explain it. So I go to Google, I type in unholy might path of exile or unholy might POE, and 1 to 2 links will come up, basically a wiki or forum, and it will tell me unholy might is this. For anybody who's curious, unholy might is being able to deal chaos damage, which in this game is poison damage, basically. Being able to hit enemies with a type of damage that makes their health drain over time, rather than just outright immediate damage. And for the build that I'm currently going, I'm mainly focusing on making my minions as strong as possible and not really focusing on doing chaos damage. But for people who like the idea of being able to poison people or use chaos damage, obviously I'd say give it a try. Once you finish off that area, the lights will turn on in the cave, things will be clear. You can use a town portal to come back to town to turn in your quest and sell your items, or you can run back out the door of that cave, um, run into the other cave that we were going to go to originally. There should be a waypoint there, and you could just use that waypoint to come back to town, turn in your quest, sell your items, and then go right back to that waypoint to continue your quest. And as you can see here, I am using my scroll of wisdom to figure out what it is that could be most useful for what it is I'm trying to do. Um, I'm wearing a pair of gloves that give armor, and I'm replacing it for a pair of gloves that give evasion rating because I haven't found any energy shield gloves. And if I have, I haven't found any that I like. Um, you might be looking into my. Well, you might have saw me drop some stuff off. I think I've done this a few times. Let me play this a little back to explain some things. Okay, so as you can see to the left, this is a stash. Yours is going to look dramatically different than mine. I think by default, we all get a currency stash for free. A currency stash is just where you put in your orbs, your pretty much everything, right? You just deposit it all in and hold it there. If you do not have a currency stash and you just have a basic chest where you drop things in at, then by all means, I personally say drop all your orbs and currency in there. If you do not know what would be counted as currency, if whatever items you pick up, if they have the word orb in them, chances are they are currency, right? When they sit in your inventory and they take one square's worth of space, like the scroll of wisdom or the portal scroll do, chances are it's currency. So you can see I put everything in there. You don't see me drag and drop it because if you're on mouse and keyboard, you can do it pretty quickly by holding control and left clicking. Now, I highly advise putting currency and probably unique items like unique gear in your stash. Pretty much everything else, I would say sell, right? Now, if you're willing to put money into the game, like actual money, technically you can buy stashes. And when you buy them, you can change the colors of them, you can change the names of them. If you don't get a currency stash by default for free, then buying a currency stash um, can be pretty helpful for storing specific items. Um, my goal slash game plan is to buy one of every stash at least. Uh, some stashes can be full, like the ones that you buy, and so some of those I will buy more of. But by default, a currency stash is pretty helpful because you can just dump your currency in there and you don't have to worry about it ever really getting full or taking up too much space. Um, I dump my I have a currency stash. I have a stash for gems. So instead of running to NPCs in town and buying gems because I would have sold gems that I don't need anymore, I actually put my gems in a gem stash. That way, if I ever need to find gems and I don't want to spend currency to get them again, I can just pull them from my stash. And I think those are like the two big ones that I feel like probably matter most in campaign. A third one could be a unique stash so that you can put all your uniques in there. But depending on what it is you do in campaign, more specifically, like if you're running the league mechanic that's going on right now, it seems like it offers a handful of uniques probably once every few runs that could be useful for having the unique stash for. But other than that, I feel like the bare bones super useful stash is the currency stash. If you don't get anything else, that would be something to definitely get. If you don't want to spend any money in the game at all, which you do not have to, then I would say get all your currency and just throw it in your stash. That way you have more space in your inventory so you can sell more items. And that way, if you ever need to use your currency, you can. In campaign, you will find chaos orbs. You'll probably find exalted orbs. You'll find orbs of transmutation. You'll find alteration orbs. You'll find scrolls of wisdom. You'll find town scrolls or town portal scrolls or portal scrolls. You'll find um, maybe an orb of chance. If you're really lucky, you will find a divine orb. These orbs are just uh, currency that you can use to craft things and make things. Orb of alchemy, right? So keeping your eye out on these orbs so that you can stash them away for later will be super beneficial for whenever you want to make something or try to make something that could be more useful for your character later down the line. Um, Another thing that I wanted to speak about outside of stashes, um, which if you're like, well, where's the stash? I have no idea. I can't find it. We're in town, right? Right now we are in town. There's a stash in every town. If you check your mini map in the top right, or if you use your overlay, it'll look like a brown chest. Outside of a mini map or the overlay, usually you will find it like somewhere in between or beside an NPC. I have my settings on. Remember how we talked about in like the first tutorial, maybe the second tutorial, we talked about how you can see the names of NPCs just out there as you're moving around. You can also see the name of your stash, which will just be called stash. You walk over to the stash, you interact with it, and boom, you're set, right? We finished this quest, and they are offering more gems to use to grow your arsenal. You don't need to have every individual gem equipped on all of your gear because chances are you probably won't use every individual gem you have equipped on all of your gear. So read through what the gems do, see if they could be beneficial for what it is you're trying to do, and then run with it from there. Next, I want to talk about the buffs and auras and stuff that you get and how they look on your screen because I've been running with a few of them and I'm sure somebody has had some question as to what they are.